Hocus Pocus was not made for kids. Before today, you could call me a virgin to the movie because I did not grow up watching it like so many of you guys did. And I know I'm being judged right now. Please don't burn me at the stake. Unfortunately, I was too busy in the trenches being forced to watch Chucky as a kid, you know, crying myself to sleep and whatnot. But yeah, anyways, so the movie starts out in 1693 during the Salem witch trials, where we're introduced to Thackeray, which for a Disney movie just sounds way too close to fuckery. He realizes that his sister's missing and is being lured into the woods. Now, why do they live a mile away from a cabin of witches? I have no clue. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. The man goes into the house to try and save his sister, and this was my first look at the Sanderson sisters. So, you know, they look like they've seen some shit. I am low-key sympathizing with them. Like, if I look like that, I might do some questionable things to, I don't know, try and look a little better. I don't know if I'd pull a Jeffrey Dahmer and try and eat some kids, but by the time old boy makes it into the cabin, the witches have already brewed a potion which will make them younger, and Thackeray is just no match for Palpatine over here. So the sisters suck the life out of this little girl and go back to being young and beautiful for about 2.2 seconds because the whole town is on their ass.
Witches, daughters of darkness, open this door!
And we better watch him get hanged in a Disney movie. But not before manifesting that a virgin will bring them back to life after lighting a special candle. And yeah, did I mention that Thackeray gets turned into a cat? Fast forward, 300 years have passed and we still in Salem. It's Halloween. We meet Max and watch him get absolutely roasted by his teacher for thinking that he could pull off the tie-dye and log sleeve combo, which I can't really help him there. I don't know what he was thinking.
Would you care to share your California laid-back tie-dye point of view?
Also, again, Disney, we really gonna let this slide? Basically, he's the new kid on the block, and he's just not buying the whole Halloween lore. He's not for the culture.
No one here knows that Halloween was invented by the candy companies.
But he is for Blondie here.
It just so happens that Halloween is based on the ancient feast called All Hallows Eve.
He likes her so much, in fact, that he stands up in front of the entire class and gives her his number. Man's got bowling balls, I'll give him that. Max ends up catching up with her after class, and they get to chatting, and just when it seems like they're hitting it off, she hands him his number back? That's a power play for sure. Then he races back home through the cemetery where I assume he's gonna go cry about it, but he's actually met by these two bozos who hide behind tombstones after school and steal kids' shoes. Now, me personally, I wouldn't have let that one slide. I'm not giving up my shoes to Mr. Malfoy and his sidekick Ice. That's just me though. Finally, the kid makes it home and all he wants to do is practice on his pillow. Not weird at all, but he can't have nothing. His sister's coming out the closet full force swinging with enough material to embarrass Max for a century and then some.
Oh, Allison, so soft.
So it's Halloween and Max takes her trick-or-treating, and you can tell he's having the time of his life, especially after running into these two bozos again. Only this time, we're not stealing shoes, we stealing candy. On the one day of the year, when you can literally go up to just about any house, knock on the door, and get the shit for free. Now, I know we all have our hobbies and all, but Max and Danny stumble upon the rich side of the neighborhood, eager to get some of those full-size candy bars. And this turns out to be Blondie's house, where all the adults are dressed up as lords and ladies and doing who knows what. Also, may I say that Danny is quite the comedian. Like, I'm taking notes.
I couldn't wear anything like that because I don't have any, what do you call them, Max? Yabos?
I mean, come on, I didn't know what yabos were before this, but trust, I will not forget. Somehow Max talks Allison and Danny into going over to the Sanderson sisters' house to, like, go ghost hunting or something. But of course, you know, Max is just trying to put the moves on Allison, which is kind of a weird angle to play, but I get it, you know, we gotta get in there somehow. This is the part of the movie where things take a turn. Max, the non-believer, thinks it's a great idea to light the candle, which can supposedly bring the Sanderson sisters back, and it can only be lit by a virgin in front of his crush, which is, again, a weird angle to play. I mean, you might as well just write the words virgin on your forehead, but Max lights it, and after a brief earthquake, the sisters are back. After a little back and forth ruffle and tuffle, the gang manages to escape with the spellbook thanks to the help of Thackeray the cat, who at some point goes by Minx. And of course, without the spellbook, the witches can't go around eating children and can't get any younger. So they chase after the gang to steal the spellbook back. They come to find out that surprisingly, a lot has changed in 300 years.
Tis firm! Careful, Winnie. Tis firm as stone.
Like, I don't know, roads are a thing? Cars, buses, bus drivers?
We desire
Children.
Hey, that may take me a couple of tries, but I don't think that'd be a problem. Hop on up.
This is a kid's movie, right? Like, this is This is Disney? Are we sure? Because between the boob jokes, the baby making innuendos, and this weird obsession with virgins, I don't know, man. But yeah, meanwhile, the gang hides out in a cemetery because I guess witches can't go there. And Thackeray the cat starts talking because he knows a lot about the witches. And no, it's not weird. Don't look at me like that. If there are witches in this world that can be brought back to life by a virgin lighting a candle, I think it's perfectly normal for there to be a talking black cat. Like, that just fits in. Now, why the characters in this movie are so calm by all of this, I don't know. But myself, I would have been freaking the fuck out. I ever saw a talking black cat on the street? Nah, dude, I'm out. But yeah, we in the cemetery, they create sort of a dream team here. Max, Allison, Danny, Thackeray the cat, and of course, Billy the zombie. He doesn't join in until later in the movie, but he's an OG. Now, the rest of this movie is pretty much just a back and forth battle for the spell book. And as long as the sisters don't consume any children, by the time that the sun comes up, they'll basically turn to dust. Somewhere in between all this, we end up at this random adult party where Max and Danny's parents are.
What are you supposed to be?
Madonna. Well, you know. Well, obviously.
To try and get them to help, but I don't know any kids movie where the adults are actually helpful, so that's a bust. But shortly after this, they end up luring them into a school pottery kiln thing and literally burn them alive. So yeah, first we watched them get hanged at the stake, now we watching them get burned alive. This movie is brutal. I low-key understand why my mom wasn't 100,000% thrilled to show me this movie. It's wild, and I would have had so many questions. Like, how the fuck are these witches immune to fire? Like, how did they live through this? So they're back from the dead again. They come back, steal the spellbook, which for the gang means that the job is not done yet. They show up to stop the sisters from sucking the youth out of kids until eventually the sun comes up and the Sanderson sisters turn to dust. This in turn releases Thackeray / Binks from living forever and being a cat. He is freed and able to walk off into the sunrise with his sister. Pretty happy ending. And I gotta be honest here, I enjoyed this movie far more than I thought I would. I mean, it's got boob jokes, virgins, Sarah Jessica Parker. But no, honestly, the Sanderson sisters make this movie. The dynamic of this trio is just so entertaining. From the calming circle to the weird love triangle with Billy. The fact that Sarah just wants to play with everyone and Mary is over here like part dog. Also, I don't know what this walk is, but if you ever see me and the homies walking up like this, just know we about to get into some shit. This movie holds up very well, but there is no way it was made for kids. I honestly think I would have enjoyed this movie less as a kid than I do right now as a 21-year-old. Like, if I had watched this movie grown up like everyone else did, again, I feel like I just would have had a lot of questions and I wouldn't have been able to understand all the awkward adult innuendos. And those types of jokes are what I think makes this movie just so entertaining. I mean, to be fair, there are elements of this movie that I definitely would have liked as a kid. I just feel like it would have been more enjoyable now, experiencing it as an adult. But either which way, up, down, sideways, I'm glad I finally got around to watching this movie. I understand the hype now. Here's a movie that you might not understand the hype to, but I guarantee if you watch this video, you will. Comment down some more movies you want to hear me talk about in the future. It's spooky season, so I'm down to watch some scary movies and do some reviews on those. Stay tuned for a video on Hocus Pocus 2. And as always, much love. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.